Hi guys, good evening. Good evening. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone's had a lovely day and that everyone is keeping warm. Obviously, I know snow and ice has wrapped most of Britain. We're down on the south coast and we never get snow. Um, we got snow today, which is a miracle for us here. So I hope everyone's staying nice and warm. I know we've got people here who are in Australia and people here who are in South Africa. I know it's obviously the middle of your summer, so you're boiling hot, but we're snowed in. So I hope everyone is well. So welcome to our fifth. Where are we? Our fifth live session, flying through the week. It feels like yesterday we were just starting. And just wanted to say how amazing it's been seeing all of your home apothecaries taking shape. Yeah, I think we've had over 35 photos posted up today with people, sharing their remedies, and some people have, kind of made everything, and they've got these, beautiful cupboards now with all these different tonics and remedies and blends in. Which is amazing to see. I know a lot of people are just getting started, which is no problem as well. So, as always, a really big thank you for all of the interaction, all of the posts, all of the shares, all of the support. Again, so much peer support. We've had so much kind of, which is like I said yesterday, it amazes me when you see someone post up something about how I'm suffering or I'm having a hard time, and just so many people coming on just to offer, just some kind words. So a big thank you for everyone who's been really active on the group today. Before I get going with tonight, as always, if you could just give me a flurry of emojis, smiley faces, thumbs up, just give me a barrage of emojis just to help get the video to the top of the feed so that everyone who's trying to find it can find it a little bit more easily, because the Facebook algorithms are an anomaly. You never quite know what they're going to do, and there's always people trying to find the video who can't find it. So just by giving me a flurry of emojis, it just helps lift it to the top. Okay. So in the email this morning, I said that I was going to be talking about goji berries, and that I was going to be talking about culinary herbalism, and I was going to be talking about herbal syrups. Okay. But actually, I'm not. I will, but I'm not going to do it tonight. And the reason for that is we've had lots and lots of requests and lots of questions about mental well-being, about what's the deal with using herbs kind of for managing stress, anxiety, overwhelm, for elevating mood, emotional energy, emotional vitality. How do we kind of, all the things we've looked at so far this week have very much been looking at the physical body, and physical energy, but what's the deal with using herbs for emotional energy, emotional well-being? So I want to talk about that because the evidence is profound, and I want to talk about something called transdermal therapy, or how we can use herbal baths to facilitate that. Okay, one of the most powerful means of prescribing herbs mechanistically, clinically, is through the skin. Okay, so, and it's a really important modality to know about as a home herbalist, because you can press it into service in so many ways. So knowing how to prescribe and use herbs as herbal baths in the right way, in the right form, in the right dosing is actually really important. Okay, so I want to talk about mental health, mental well-being, mood, managing stress, anxiety, depression, seasonal affective disorders, but I will cover the pomegranate and how to make herbal syrups, the kind of the not pomegranate, the goji berries, herbal syrups, some of the longevity stuff around goji berries. I will cover it, but we'll just cover it in one of the bonus sessions next week. Okay, but before I get into that, the whole aim of running this week, the whole motivation for running this week has ultimately been about empowerment. Okay, what motivated me and Holly to put this event on was all about empowerment. It was about how can we use herbal medicine to target the primary goals of our health. How can we use herbs to boost our energy, to boost our vitality, to make us feel younger, to animate the health of our households? How can we use herbs? How can we understand herbs so that when someone in our household, a loved one or ourselves, comes down with an illness, how can we press into service clinically proven safe and effective herbs to manage that person? How do we empower ourselves? How do we increase our energy? How do we increase our mood? How do we make ourselves kind of the happiest, healthiest, most vibrant versions of ourselves? And obviously there's lots of things responsible for that, our diet and our exercise and our sleep and our relationships, but herbal medicines provide us with an evidence-based, incredibly quick and sustainable means of targeting all of those objectives. Okay, every one of those goals, which is what we all aspire to those goals. We all want to feel healthy and strong and young and energized. Okay, herbal medicines can be pressed into service, to facilitate that. I think one of the big motivations for me was empowering people to realize that we have the ability to treat our loved ones when they fall ill. If a husband or a wife or a parent or a child or a brother or a sister comes down with one of the multitude of household ailments we all come down with, knowing how to act. That's been the whole motivation and the whole aim of this week. And it was really hard to obviously condense that into, a small kind of, week. And as such, we've only scratched the surface. We've still got a lot more to come. We've got a few bonus sessions and lots more remedies to share. But we've only just scratched the surface of what's possible with herbs. We've only scratched the surface of the reality of herbs to transform our health, to keep our households healthy. And the aim of this week was about inspiring and motivating and empowering and galvanizing. Okay, and if you feel those things, if you are feeling motivated and excited and to learn more about herbs after kind of just these few short days, if you feel like you're on the right path, then I'm super excited to introduce my Master Home Herbalist course. Okay, I've had lots of questions about it. I know a lot of you have already taken part in it. But my Master Home Herbalist course, my dream, the reason we created it, is that I would love every household in Britain to have it. Because if every household in Britain had it, every household would have all the knowledge they need to become masters at using herbal medicine at home to optimize health and to treat illness. Okay, and for me, it's condensed the last 20 years of my research and practice in herbal medicine onto one online training platform. And it took a long time to create. We put our heart and soul into it, and it's pretty much put onto one platform everything you'll ever need to know to use herbal medicines properly. Okay, in the full range of use, to optimize health, to manage illness, to make remedies, to target problems, the full range. It's literally in one platform, everything you'll ever need. Okay, we've made it that inclusive, that broad, and it's got just so much. There's masses of content on it. Okay, it's got the kind of the most comprehensive A to Z management guide, so the A to Z of the most, all of the kind of household ailments you'll ever suffer from, from A to Z, detailed best practice protocols for managing it. It's what we use to manage illnesses in our household. The herbal prescribing, the herbal remedies, the vitamins, the minerals, the supplements. It's the detailed management plans for managing illnesses in your household. Okay, it gives you all the information you need. It draws upon the best evidence. It draws upon 15, 20 years of my research in using herbs in that capacity. It's got herbal monographs, herbal profiles for hundreds of herbs. So if you've looked at the resources page that accompanies this course, you will find the herbal profiles for turmeric and ashwagandha and andrographis. It's got that for hundreds of herbs. And that's so important because there's no more guesswork, no more going on to Google, is this herb safe for that? And can I use this herb for this problem? It's all there. All the information you need for hundreds of herbs, what you can be used for, what they can't be used for, their benefits. Okay. It's got extensive video tutorials on how to make medicines. This is really key. Detailed video tutorials on how to make ointments and poultices and tinctures and the proper frameworks for making herbal teas, clinically effective herbal teas. How do we make herbal baths? How do we make compresses and poultices? How do we make herbal honeys, herbal ghee, herbal digestive rubs? All of the primary ways of using, prescribing, making herbs and remedies, all there in video tutorial format. We've got hundreds of remedies. If you've enjoyed the remedies from this week, lots of the remedies included in this course, I don't know that are published anywhere else. They're just completely unique remedies, for everything you can imagine. Okay, it's everything. I'll share a kind of a list of them later. It's got all of that. Okay, it's literally everything you need in one place to become a master home herbalist. There's nothing that you will need that isn't included. Okay, and it's been designed for that reason. Okay, but we've kind of added to it for this year. So we've got 2 bonuses that I'm super excited about that come with the Master Home Herbalist course. Okay, so if you take part in the Master Home Herbalist, you get free access to two courses that are completely unique. The first one, which is a live 4-week course, so it's delivered on Zoom. It's completely live. It's fully interactive. It's recorded, so you get lifetime access, and it's on herbal health and vitality in middle age and beyond. And this is something that I wanted to do for a long time, because it's about something called, you may have read about it in the newspaper, something called Sniper's Alley. Okay, Sniper's Alley, which is once we turn 40, 45, we are at an exponential risk of age-related decline, particularly in key organ systems, our heart, our brain, our eyes, our energy systems, these kinds of things. And the aim of this course is to provide evidence-based herbal protocols for how we mitigate that. How do we use these herbal protocols to keep these key organ systems in tip-top health as we move into middle age and beyond? Okay, it's these protocols are phenomenal. Okay, it's like I say, it's delivered live. The first session actually starts on this coming Tuesday, I think. Okay, so 4 live sessions that provide all the framework you need. So that's the first bonus. The second bonus is you get completely free access to our 4-week cold and flu management series, okay, which is literally everything you need. It's pre-recorded, you get lifetime access. It's everything you need to manage infections in adults and children. Okay, so it's best practice. It's whenever an infection hits our household, kids, me, Holly, it's the only thing we need. It's the only thing we use. Okay, it's all the evidence, all of the remedies, the tinctures, the teas, the vitamins, the supplements, the dosing, everything. It's the best practice. Okay, so you get the Master Home Herbalist course, which is colossal in scale, everything you need. You get completely free access to the 4-week live course, and you get completely free access to the 4-part cold and flu management series. Okay, all as one. In terms of cost, so the collective value of those 3 courses individually is just under £700. Okay, but you can get everything, all 3 of those courses, lifetime access. We've currently got it on a massive offer of only £129 for lifetime access to everything. Okay, or you can start for just £45 and you can pay by instalments. Okay, so you can pay in 3 £45 monthly installments. Okay, so we've made it as cheap as we possibly can because we want as many people to access this information. So if you feel inspired to continue your journey into herbal medicine, into home herbalism, culinary herbalism, if you feel inspired to use this knowledge to keep yourself in tip-top health, your family in tip-top health, to learn to make remedies, to learn new remedies, to learn all this information, we've designed this series of courses to provide you with everything you need. Okay, it's been a labour of love, but I'm so proud of it. It's a phenomenal course. It's available now. It's only available for a week. Okay, the doors close at 10 p.m. next Thursday. So this these series of courses are only available for a week. Okay, then we'll close the doors. So for those of you looking to take part, I'd obviously love to continue the journey with you. I'd love to continue working with you and getting to know you and continuing this journey into home herbalism, because I think it's an amazing journey, it's an empowering journey, it's a fun journey. It's just such a beautiful skill set to arm ourselves with. And I know lots of people have already bought it, because we put it up live today on the website before we announced it, and I know loads of you have already signed up. So for those of you who've already signed up, a big welcome. Obviously the first live session of the 4-week course is on Tuesday, so and you'll get all the information for that. Okay, so for those of you looking to continue, please do check it out. With that said and done, I just now want to turn to our next kind of set of herbal training. Okay, and like I said, I was going to talk about herbal syrups, I was going to talk about goji berries. I'm going to delay that until next week, just because of the very heartfelt messages we got around how can I support my mental health, my mental well-being, how do I manage stress, anxiety, depression, how do I increase mood and mental kind of vitality. And for that, when I was reading those messages, herbal teas and herbal powders and herbal tinctures are all brilliant for that kind of problem. But there's one type of prescribing that absolutely reigns supreme when it comes to mental well-being, okay? And that mode of prescribing are herbal baths, okay? And it blows my mind that despite being one of the oldest forms of herbal delivery, it's somehow completely lost favour or gone out of fashion in the West. Okay, because the founding fathers of medicine, Hippocrates in ancient Greece, Galen in ancient Greece, herbal baths were their primary way of prescribing medicine. Okay, and I want to talk about how it works. I want to talk about why it's so effective, and then I want to talk about the kinds of herbs you can use to make a medicated bath for emotional vitality and mental well-being. So when we're talking about herbal baths, what we're talking about is something called transdermal therapy. Okay, so think about something like a morphine patch, or an HRT patch, or a nicotine patch, or a blood pressure patch. If we're using HRT or we're using morphine as a patch on the skin, how does it work? How does a morphine patch kill pain? How does an HRT patch deliver estrogen? It delivers medically active compounds through the skin directly into the blood. Once it's in the blood, it can then travel through the whole body to induce, a clinically significant change in the way the physiology of the body's working, including our hormones. Okay. Herbal baths press that action into service, but rather than using pharmaceuticals like morphine or, HRT, using herbs. But the key point here is the mode of delivery, okay? Because think about a herbal bath, okay? Your skin is the biggest organ in the body, okay? If you lay out the skin of a human, adult, it's colossal in size, okay? And across the length and breadth of our skin, we've got two primary layers. We've got the epidermis, which is the top layer of skin, and then below that we've got the dermis, which is the kind of the second layer of the skin. And in the dermis are billions of tiny capillaries and billions of nerve endings. Okay, so if we're submerging our body into herbal baths that contain really strong herbal compounds, and we're submerging 90% of our body surface area into that bath, think of the sheer volume of herbal medically active compounds you are absorbing your skin to. Okay, you're exposing your skin to in the bath water. The herbs, the herbal constituent parts, the herbal compounds found in that water then travel through the top layer of the skin into the second layer of the skin. And when they're there, they're absorbed into the capillaries and they're absorbed into the nerves. Okay, so that once they're absorbed in, they travel through the whole body and they induce clinically significant changes. Okay, and people often think about herbal baths and transdermal therapy as being kind of weaker. You know, we think about taking medicines and we think about swallowing pills or swallowing medicines orally. Okay, but actually, mechanistically, herbal delivery through the skin is sometimes up to 30 times, 30-fold stronger than orally delivered herbs. Okay, purely because of the sheer size of our skin, the sheer surface area of our skin. And if you're sitting in a herbal bath for 15 or 20 minutes, and in that bath is a really strong concentration of correctly chosen herbs, the ability of that herbal bath to change physiology, whether that's to reduce pain, lower stress, reduce anxiety, increase mood, impart better sleep, balance hormones, you know, reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, whatever you want to do, okay, you can absorb more medically active herbal compounds through a herbal bath than you probably can through any other herbal prescribing modality, okay? And the benefit of the herbal baths is that it makes the body more absorbent almost to the herbal compounds, because when you're in a bath, a hot bath, what happens? The heat of the bath opens up your pores, okay? It increases blood flow to the periphery, and it vasodilates. It opens up all the capillaries in the skin. So you've got your skin, which is more absorptive. All the pores are open. You've got more blood supply to the skin, and the capillaries are wider. So essentially, the door has opened up to the blood system. And then you're sitting in the bath, and you've got, you know, this super concentration of herbal compounds being absorbed into the body and traveling through the body to impart change. And it is so profoundly effective. Okay, it's hard to emphasize how powerful it is in the context of inducing change in the body. And I know I've used herbal baths in so many people professionally over the years, you know, prescribed herbal formulations to be used in baths, you know, people who are managing terminal illnesses and are dealing with, you know, acute levels of stress and anxiety. I've used it in people who've lost loved ones when they're going through extreme grief. I've used it in people with severe pain problems, fibromyalgia, you know, virtually any problem, ailment, issue that you're suffering with, or anyone suffering with, herbal baths can be pressed into service to manage that, but in an enjoyable way. You know, baths in and of themselves are obviously inherently relaxing. They're inherently calming. Just the bath, just sitting in a hot bath is calming. But if you add the herbal compounds into the equation, you're getting this exponential healing response. Okay. So I want to talk about how to make a herbal bath, because you don't actually add the herbs into the bath. There's a very specific way of making a herbal bath. And another thing that makes herbal baths so powerful is that you can use a dose that you could never use internally, okay? Because by absorbing the medical compounds through the skin, you're predominantly bypassing the liver, okay? So when you're taking herbs orally, internally, you have to be, you know, there's always a dose limit. You can't take too much because it will become toxic. By absorbing through the skin, you can use a much higher dose, okay, because it's safer, because you're absorbing it rather than swallowing it. So we can use super concentrated blends, okay? And what's so good about this is that the chances are in your cupboards or your spice racks, your herb racks in your home, you probably got herbs that are going to be clinically indicated and clinically proven for boosting mood and managing stress, anxiety, depression, okay? But in the workbook, you know, for the 4 Thieves vinegar, I spoke about having rosemary, thyme, sage, and mint, okay? All of those 4 herbs, you know, what are so poorly understood in terms of their psychological, emotional impacts. So for example, thyme and rosemary and sage and mint are clinically proven to lower anxiety. They're clinically proven to reduce stress hormones. They're clinically proven to increase the secretion of oxytocin and dopamine, our feel-good hormones. We know it lowers tension. We know it lowers cortisol. So these herbs are psychological, emotional, mood tonic herbs. Okay, there are other herbs as well. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of valerian. Okay, that's valerian root. You know, valerian, one of the most powerful anti-anxiety herbs in the world. Okay, herbs like lemon balm, okay, and rosemary, okay, brilliant for these kinds of, you know, psychological, emotional ailments. So how do you make a herbal bath? How do you make a medicated herbal bath? Okay, like I say, you can use super concentrated doses. So what you typically want is a mixing bowl, not a plastic one or a silicone one. You don't want all those toxins leaching out of them. So a metal mixing bowl or a glass mixing bowl. Okay, then you want about 1 tablespoon of each herb. So say you're using rosemary, sage, and thyme. Okay, 1 tablespoon of each of those herbs into the mixing bowl, and then you pour over a pint of boiling water. Okay, a pint of boiling water, and stir it really, really well. So all the herbs are mixed into the water. They're all covered in the water. There's no kind of clumping of dry herbs. Okay, then it's really important to put a lid on. You know, put a lid on the bowl or a plate or a chopping board, something to seal the bowl off, because so many of the medically active compounds you'll be using in that context are essential oils. Okay, and if they're, when you pour in the boiling water, they turn into vapor and they escape into the environment. Okay, you want to make sure that you've got a lid on so that those essential oils hit the lid, cool down, and drip back in. So you're not losing any of the therapeutic power. And then ideally, you want to kind of do that in the morning and leave it to stew all day. Okay, so, you know, 6, 7, 8 hours. So it's super, super strong. Imagine you think about when you make a cup of tea, you use about a teaspoon of, you know, herbs, don't you? Or 2 teaspoons of herbs. Think about how strong that can be. Here you're using 3 tablespoons of herbs into a pint of water. So it is so concentrated, so medically active. Okay, and then, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours later, you strain. It'll be cold by then. You strain it through a sieve into another bowl, so you can discard the herbs. Okay, then you've got a bowl of a pint of super, 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 super concentrated herbal, you know, concentrated herbal constituents. Okay, all you need to do then is run your bath, you know, a nice hot bath, run it, you know, and then once the bath is run, just pour that pint of cold herbal infusion into the bath, but you have to aggravate it really well. You want to make sure that you disperse those super concentrated herbal compounds all through the bath water. Okay, then you just get in the bath. That's it. But there is a dose response. You need to be in that bath for kind of a minimum of 15 minutes, but ideally 20 minutes or more. Okay, and over that time, if you look at the blood work, if you look at the research, the volume of medically active compounds that you will absorb into your blood and into your nerves through being in that herbal bath, like I say, are kind of 10, 20, even 30 times stronger than that which you can use through oral prescribing in teas, tinctures, honeys, syrups, those kinds of things. And the impact upon our emotional systems, upon our hormones, upon our neurochemistry, on our, you know, our serotonin, our oxytocin, in terms of lowering anxiety, lowering stress, boosting mood. I don't really know of any herbal protocol, herbal practice, herbal prescribing method that is more effective than that for managing emotional well-being. And the beauty of this is that you can use it preventatively and you can use it interventionally. So, you know, most people would say, you know, now in the northern hemisphere, the clocks have gone back. You know, it's not light very long. It's dark when we get up. It's dark when we go to bed. A lot of people suffer with, you know, low mood, seasonal affective disorder, you know, in the winter. This is an evidence-based way of reducing the risk of that. It's an evidence-based way of boosting mood, keeping our neurochemistry, our biochemistry, keeping our emotional and psychological selves strong and vital, preventing the risk of anxiety or depression or sadness or low mood. But if you're actually suffering with those problems, it's perhaps even more effective. If you're going through a really stressful time, you've got anxiety, you're feeling overwhelmed, you've got low mood, you're feeling depressed, these kinds of things, I almost defy anyone to make a medicated herbal bath like this, sit in it for 20 minutes and not get out and feel more positive, more empowered, less anxious, less stressed, less sad, less depressed, less kind of, blue, you will feel better. Okay, so for everyone who's asked for help and advice in managing low mood, herbal bars would be my recommendation. On the resources page, I will post all the instructions for making herbal bars, so you haven't got to listen to this again or kind of make notes. But I just want to briefly talk about herbs, what herbs to use. So like I say, rosemary, sage, thyme and peppermint, which are super easy to source from any supermarket, are all clinically indicated and clinically proven, like I said, for treating anxiety, distress, depression and boosting mood. But there are other herbs if you're particularly predisposed to these kinds of problems. If you know that you do suffer with things like anxiety, I would definitely recommend valerian. Okay, you can use it in teas, you can use it in herbal bars. Okay, it's one of the most evidence-based and powerful anxiety, stress, depression lowering herbs, mood elevating herbs. Lemon balm is another great herb. Okay, for elevating mood. Chamomile is another great herb. Obviously you can get things like St. John's wort flowers. So again, I'll post a list of recommended herbs on the resources page. Okay, so herbal bars are such a powerful prescribing method to know about. And you can use it for everything. It works brilliantly for high blood pressure. It works brilliantly for insomnia. It works brilliantly for pain, things like arthritis, muscle pain, repetitive strain injuries. It works brilliant. It's brilliant for fatigue-based issues, chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, fibromyalgia. It's brilliant for skin problems. It can be used in so many contexts. Okay, and actually in the 4-week course I just spoke about, the herbal medicine for health and vitality in middle age and beyond, one of the modules is the heart health. It's how we keep our heart strong and healthy as we move into 40s and 50s and beyond. And one of the things we'll talk about is herbal teas and herbal remedies for keeping the heart working in tip-top health, and we'll talk about how we can use herbal bars in that context. Okay, so for everyone who's been asking for help around mental well-being, this is the way I would use herbal bars. That's how you make it, and they're the herbs you should be using. Okay, like I said, please do check out the Master Home Herbalist course. It's a completely unique course. I'm not aware of any other course available that does what it does, particularly with those 2 bonuses. Okay, you're essentially getting £800 worth of courses for £129. Okay, or you can pay in the installments. Like I say, you can get started for £45. All the information is available on our website. Okay, and I'll post up a post on the Facebook page now where you can find more information. If you have any questions, do let me know. But this isn't the end of the Confident Home Herbalist Week. Okay, this is the last live session of this week, but we've got a bonus session on Monday. We've got a bonus session on Wednesday before the doors close on Thursday. Doors shut a week today. Doors to the Master Home Herbalist shut next Thursday as well, and then we'll close this group down. But we've got bonus remedies, we've got new tonics, we've got lots of recipes and remedies and herb profiles to share with you, so there's lots coming. So still plenty to get our teeth into, but like I say, I'd love to, those of you who've joined, I look forward to continuing the journey with you. Those who want to become Master Home Herbalist, do check out the course. Any questions, let me know. But other than that, have a lovely evening. Sorry for changing the topic from goji berries and herbal syrups, but like I say, we will cover that next week. Okay, so have a lovely evening. Thank you for being here. Again, to have 110 people, 120 people here live is an absolute privilege. So I'm so grateful for all your time. Keep the energy high in this Facebook page. It's not over. Holly and I will be active in it tomorrow over the weekend. All share your photos, share your remedies, ask questions, and we'll get back to you. Have a lovely, lovely evening. I'll stop waffling now, and I will see you all soon. Cheers, guys.